Good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing well. In today's session, we will talk about how to prepare for interviews at Google, from the application process to the skills that are important. We are happy to have with us four amazing speakers from Google who will share their experience and knowledge with us. Abdurrahman Umran, software engineer at Google; Yahya Najib, software engineer at Google; and Zain Makki, senior software engineer at Google; and also Rani Amr, software engineer at Google. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, this is Reem, vendor performance manager at Google Poland. I hope you're having fun. Let's present the screen if that's okay and wait a couple of more minutes until everyone join. Let's go on with the screen fast.
I'm presenting.
Thank you so much. So while you're waiting, or we are waiting those 3 minutes, if that's okay, please scan the QR code and make sure that you're registering all of your information. That's a very, very good opportunity in order to reach directly to Google recruiting team. And I hope at the end of this session, you'll be more interested in joining Google and more prepared on how Google interviews are happening. So please register now while we're waiting. We can play some music. What about that, Zain?
Sure.
While we're waiting, please write us where are you joining us from, which country or city. Do we have more people now? Can you write where are you joining us from? You can use the comments section. Okay, that's 4 minutes. Thank you so much, Zain, for the music. You can slowly start. Let's go to that. Yeah. I hope everyone is here by now. It's already 4 minutes. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. First off, a huge thank you to GGG Sudan and especially to Heba for hosting us for the second time this year in collaboration with Google Poland. And we're very grateful for this opportunity. We will begin now. I just want to make sure if you haven't already registered, please scan the QR code. Make sure that you're registered. This is how recruiters, Google recruiting team can join you, can reach you. So yes, by this, if you go to the following slide. So this session is part of a series that we promised you back in March. So if you have already attended the first session, which was CV workshop in March, please write in the comments that you have attended this one. And today you will be hearing from Omran, Yahya, Zain, Rania, and myself, all representing Google Poland. And now you might notice that we have switched to English this time, and that's because we are absolutely thrilled and lucky to have more than 51 GDG chapters joining us today and over 20 countries. So it's not anymore Middle East. So everyone, welcome and please enjoy your time here. Moving forward. Let's start off who we are and who are the speakers of today. I'll start with myself first. So as I said at the beginning, my name is Reem El Sayed and I'm a vendor performance manager. I'm originally Egyptian, residing in Google Poland. This is where I work at the moment as a vendor performance manager for the past 5 years, managing UK and Ireland and emerging markets with over 12 years of experience in business growth, sales and marketing strategies. I also hold an MBA in management and operations from Okan University from my beloved city, Istanbul, and a degree in Chinese from Al Ain Shams University. And with this, we go to Omran.
Thank you, Reem. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to be with you today. Let me give you a quick brief about myself. From Egypt, I've graduated from Faculty of Engineering at Alexandria University, and I've been working at Google for almost 1 year, specifically in Kubernetes team. And before that, I was working at Amazon for almost 2 years. So yeah, back to you, Reem.
Thank you. Now with Yahya, I believe.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm really happy to be with you today. I am Yahya Nagib. I joined Google for more than 1 year and a half for now. Right now, I'm in Kubernetes team 2 as Omran, specifically with the performance and scalability team. Also, I have 4+ years of experience as a full stack engineer, and I'm always interested in the entrepreneur part, so like creating my own company and stuff like that. And aside from that, like I hold the bachelor degrees in computer science and engineering from the German University in Cairo.
And last but not least, our beloved Zain.
Thank you, Reem. So my name is Zain. I'm a software engineer here at Google. I'm originally from Lebanon. I've been at Google for 4.5 years already. I'm specialized in backend systems. I've worked in Google Compute Engine for a few years, and now I'm working in Gemini Code Assist. And I hold a master's degree in computer science from Arizona State University. And thank you all for joining. I'm back to Reem.
Thank you, Zain. I'm checking all of your comments now. We have a huge crowd. We have people from Kuwait, Turkey, Egypt as well, Netherlands, UAE, and USA. Wow, that's a huge one. Welcome, everyone, one more time. So before we start, let's have a bit of house rules, if I can call it. So this session will be for 1 hour. Of course, we can extend it based on how it will go, and around 20 minutes for Q&A session, so where we can answer all of your questions. So I advise you to wait for the Q&A to ask all of your questions, so please write them aside not to forget. And at the end, I would love to ask you to give us feedback so that we can tailor any upcoming sessions even more to your needs. So I will share the QR code of the post-event feedback survey at the end. And most of all, please have fun. This is a 1 hour of rich, amazing tips and tricks about how to prepare for interviews with Google and how the process are going. So please absorb every single information that will be presented by Omran, Zain, and Yahya. So what's our agenda for the day? So first of all, we will start with Omran, going to walk us through how to apply for a job. He will cover the essential steps you need to know. After that, Zain will dive into the Google interview process, and he's going to give us some real insights into what it's like. Then, to help you prepare better, Yahya will take us through all the details on how to get ready for those interviews. And finally, before we open for your questions, we will give you a quick glimpse about Google Poland. What are the offices here? How is it looking like? A bit of our teams as well. So let's jump right in before I hand it to Amran. So we assume that you already got your CV if you made it that far in those sessions in collaboration with GGG Sudan and Google Poland. If not, if you don't have your CV yet, I'll pause here for a second. Please take this QR code, scan the QR code, or take a screenshot so you can have access to the first session we had about how to properly prepare your CV. So make sure you scan the QR code and watch the first session if you haven't already joined us before. And with this, I will go with Amran to tell us more about how to apply for a job.
Thank you, Reem. So you have your CV prepared now, and you're ready for applying. So there are three really important things that you should know when you're applying. The first thing is how to apply for the job. And second thing, what kind of programs or roles are available for you to apply. And the third thing is when to apply. So let's start with the first thing, how to apply. It's really simple, straightforward. Just visit google.com/students if you're interested in internships. If you're interested in full-time jobs, visit careers.google.com. And afterwards, you will find a searching page. You will search for the role, upload your resume or CV, and then click submit. It's so simple. Moving forward to the searching part, when you're searching or looking for the job offer, here you can filter with multiple things: the degree type, the interest, location, skills, whatever you want to find the job that you're looking for. But even if you didn't find the job that you're looking for, you can always switch the alert on the top of the page, and this will be sending you an email with the job whenever it comes or whenever it's posted. So let's move forward to the second part of what programs or what available internships that we have. The first thing that we have here is the STEP, which is a short for Student Training in Engineering Program. Actually, this one is meant for a first-year university student. So if you're a first-year university student, you can apply for a STEP program, and you will be working, you will get engaged with Google engineers, and you will be working on production-level code. And also, you will get the chance to be assigned with a mentor outside of your working group to just get from their knowledge and get more experience. The following thing that we have is the software engineering internship. I can call this one the classic internship, which is meant for students closer to graduate, or maybe PhD or master's students also can apply for software engineering internship, and it's paid full-time, same as in STEP. And for this one, you will be for sure working on production services. You will have the chance to impact millions or even billions of users. The last thing that we have here is the PhD internship. If you're a PhD student, if you didn't complete your PhD degree, it's fine. You can apply for this internship. And also you will be working with people in Google that are also interested in such kind of researching areas. And one fun fact about Google, that 25% of Googlers in engineering organization, they have a PhD degree. Okay, now we know the first two things. We know how to apply. We know what kind of internships that we have. Now we come to the timeline. Internship applications typically open in September or October each year, and the interview process starts by November. And if you pass the interview process, you will be starting your summer internship by June. But a small note here, that software engineering internship and PhD internship are more flexible when it comes to the start and end time. Moving forward, we'll be talking about software engineering, the full-time jobs. And for the software engineering, it's the normal or the most existing role that we have in Google. You can apply at any time. It doesn't have like time boundaries. So whenever you're ready, whenever you have your resume or CV ready, just go to careers.google.com, search for the role that suits you, and then apply. Also, it's worth to mention about site reliability engineer, which is another role in Google. That site reliability engineers, or SREs for short, they keep Google production system up and running. They keep it running everywhere all the time. They make sure that systems are available. The interviews for SREs are more focused on troubleshooting. So yeah, if you're interested in SRE roles, also you will find it on careers.google.com. And from here, you know how to apply for the job. I will leave you with Zain. He will walk you through the interview process. To you, Zain.
Thank you, Amran. So in the previous sessions, you learned about like how to write your resume, and we shared this with you. Hopefully you watched it before, or you can watch it again later. Now that you have your resume and Amran shared with us how you can apply, we will now learn about the process and how the process is different for also the different cases that Amran talked about. So after you apply, the next step that will happen, which is the exciting step, is that you'll get contacted by a recruiter. This is a very exciting day, and I still remember it till today when I got contacted by a recruiter from Google. So now we'll know how the process looks like, and I will break it down by each case. So first, we will start by the intern, the step intern, which is a simplified version of the process. So in this process, you get invited to do 2 technical interviews. These are 45-minute sessions. You do them using the Google Virtual Interview platform, which is a platform that allows you to write your code, like it's a remote coding and collaboration tool. It gives you like syntax highlighting, formatting, just to make the process smoother. You just need to remember that you cannot run your code using this tool, so you need to be comfortable with actually writing a code without being able to run it or test it using like runtime. You also need to remember that this code that you actually write will be actually included in the feedback that your interviewer will write. So also you need to make sure that this code is good enough to be shared. So after you do these 2 technical interviews, you will hopefully get contacted by a recruiter for the next step. You'll get contacted by a recruiter for the next step, and hopefully this next step is that Google will extend an offer for you. At this point, also you need to know, which is like your recruiter is always on your side, like they want you to succeed. It's part of their job that you actually succeed, so they will provide you with all the necessary resources, and they will help you to move forward with this process. So after you get an offer as an intern, then you will be assigned for a project internally. This happens after you get an offer. And at this point, congrats, because you're now a Googler and you're doing your STEP internship program. So this is the process for STEP internship. Now, the other program is the SWE internship. So here now you're expected to have completed more of your courses. So the process like changes slightly, but it's also kind of similar. So the first step is that the recruiter will reach out to you. They will share with you like an online coding assessment and survey, which is a first part, like kind of screening part, where you get to do these questionnaires like on your own offline. You have a deadline for them, but like you do them offline on your own. But you need to take them super seriously, because like this part is actually the screening part, and based on it, you proceed to the next steps or not. So the next step is similar, which is you get to do 2 technical interviews, as we described in the STEP internship part. So now after this happens, the difference is that you go through project matching. So you need to be matched to a project based on your skill set, and this happens before the offer part. So you get matched with a team, and after that, you get contacted with the recruiter for the next step, which is also, again, hopefully you get an offer. Yeah, so now we move to the full-time jobs. So these are for people already graduated, and now you're looking for like your dream job. And in this case here, the process is a bit different also. You get a screening part also at the beginning, which might be also like an online coding assessment and survey, or like for my case, it was like a screening interview. Like you get to do 1 technical interview, and based on the result of that, you proceed to the next step. The next step
Zain, if I may, just a second, I'm really, really sorry. There is a comment if anyone can see the screen. Can you please confirm if you see the screen or not that we're sharing? There's this comment from Afonvino. I'm really sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm really sorry for this. So yes, you see the screen. Perfect. I'm sorry, Zain, for stopping you. I was a little bit scared.
No worries. We want to make sure everybody can see the material. So thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, so we finished the screening part for full-time roles, and now if you get a positive feedback on this, then you move to the next part, which is you get to do 4 interviews. These 4 interviews are 3 technical interviews and 1 team attribute and leadership interviews. Now, you need to know that for 3 technical interviews, you get interviewed by different people, and these people, like, they don't share their feedback with each other. So this is like a important part to know for you, because this means that they are not biased by the feedback for each other. Like, they do this independently. There's a chance that you don't do well on one, but like you do great on all the remaining, then there's this high chance that you still get an offer. So the team attributes and leadership interview, which is the here a different part from it didn't exist in the for interns. This is very important, and we use this to be able to learn more about you. So we want to know about your individual working style. We want to know how you approach like teamwork, how you work in a team, how do you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, how you have a growth mindset. So these questions are kind of hypothetical, scenario-based questions that we will talk about in the next chapter of this this presentation. But for now, you just need to know that this interview is part of the process here. It's based on your previous experience also. So yeah, you get to tell us more about like how you approach things in the past. So after you do this, like there will be an internal process to like match you with an area and do final approvals for you. And the recruiter will contact you, and hopefully you also get an offer here. And in this case, congrats, you are one of our colleagues. Okay, and with this, I pass to Yahya, who will tell us about how you can prepare actually to these interviews. All yours, Yahya.
Yahya, Zain, thank you so much. Yahya, before we start, the QR code for registering is pinned on the screen. Please, please, please make sure that you're registered. All you need to do is scan this QR code and fill the form.
Great. Thank you, Reem and Zain. Yeah, so now it comes for the interesting part, which is about how to tackle and prepare for your interviews. So let's start. This section is divided into 4 parts. The first one is the setup. We'll get into each part individually. So the first one is setup. Second part is behavioral interviews. Third part is technical interviews. And then finally, a practice questions. So let's go with the first point, which is the setup. Yeah. So yeah, before for the setup, actually regarding the interviews, you may, as Zain mentioned, you may start with having a snapshot survey, which takes about 15 minutes and asks about your work style. And then you could get also a coding assessment or a screening interview, which is, if in case it's a coding assessment, it's like time limit with has a time limit of 90 minutes. Of course, you have an unlimited practice before the deadline, and of course, we have always to make sure that the integrity matters, and you don't ask for help during your assessments and interviews. Moving forward, yeah. So regarding the setup for the virtual interviews, since all of your interviews are gonna be virtual through Google Meet calls, so you have to make sure that you test your equipment very well before the interview. Make sure that your camera is working, your mic is working, your headset is working, your mic is clean, like your microphone has a clear voice. Also prepare a pen and paper in case you wanted to write any notes. And a very important point that you will hear it a lot of time during my part, which is sharing out your thoughts loud and communication. And finally, again, do not search for references or question or ask for any help during the interviews. Moving forward, once you start your interview and you are inside your interview, make sure that the interviewer can hear you well. They can hear you well. Also, there is an option to turn on the captions. This is very useful in case you are not a native speaker for English. So sometimes this is very useful to understand better. And also, sometimes during the interviews, it requires you to present something from your screen. So only share what you mean to share. No need to share everything on your laptop. And finally, very important part, which is be yourself. Try to avoid stress, which we will come to it later in our session. But try to be yourself and give all you have and prepare very well because this is the point where you are showing all your skills. So let's start with the interviews. We have, as we mentioned, the leadership interview and the technical interview. Here we are talking about the leadership interviews, which is also called behavioral interviews. So in this interview, make sure to prepare very well. And what do you have to prepare is any situation or all the situations you have experienced in your previous jobs or even in your previous experiences, if it is a side job or it's maybe a project you worked on with other people. Make sure to gather all of this information and remember them very well, because this is the place where, or this is the time where you are going to share it and talk about them. So expect in this interview to have questions like, tell me about a time when you maybe had a hard time during a project, or you had some time that you had to communicate with your teammates and you have different opinions. How did you manage the different opinions? So the behavioral interview is more about asking about situations that you have and about situations that you may face. So it's always very helpful to mention in this interview anything that you actually faced that you can share with the interviewer. And tips for success is make sure that you listen for the questions carefully, you understand the question, and then explain your thoughts, explain the situation if you have, and make sure that you summarize your situations so that you can tackle more questions. And also, while summarizing, make sure to mention the important points and keys of your stories or situations to make sure that the interviewer understands them easily. Moving forward, we will be talking about the technical interview, which is very exciting because most of your interviews are going to be technical. So the technical interview will be divided into 3 parts. The first part is 5 minutes, which is introduction, where you are going to introduce yourself, get to know the interviewer, talk about anything. Maybe you want to test your environment in this 5 minutes to make sure that you can hear them and they can hear you for the interviewer. Make sure everything is working correctly, and then you jump into the second part, which is the technical assessment, which is 35 minutes. And then after the technical assessment, you go for closing questions. If you have any questions related to Google, to the culture, to the teams, whatever questions you want to ask about Google, and try to avoid asking about feedback for the interview, because this won't be given during the interview and it will be provided later by the recruiter. So make sure to use these 5 minutes to ask questions that will be helpful for you. Moving forward, getting more close to the technical assessment, the 35 minutes that we all are excited about. So they start by choosing your programming language that you are gonna do the interview with. So we are not limited to specific languages. Here we listed kind of the most famous languages: C, C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, and Go. But we are not limited to that, to these languages. Make sure to use the language that you are most proficient, skilled, and experienced with. make sure to notify your recruiter. If they didn't ask you, they will ask you, but in case they didn't, make sure to notify them that you want to use a specific language in the interview to make sure that they prepare it for you with the interviewer. Moving forward, here's one of the famous questions, which is what algorithms or concepts, data structures, topics, whatever, are we gonna or we have to study, we have to prepare. So here is the list. Take a second and do a screenshot, save it, share it with your friends, even if they didn't attend, and try to prepare yourself for the interviews by tackling all of these topics and algorithms. Make yourself familiar with them, and you have a lot of different platforms to practice on to be prepared for the interview. This list is for full-time jobs and SWE internships. The next slide is for step internships, so it's quite less, so that you can feel that you still don't, like as a step internship, you don't have to study a lot, same as the full-time. So again, for the step internship, take a screenshot, save it, share it with your friends, and get prepared for the interview. Moving forward, so now the interview assessment, close for the interview. How do we assess the interview is for about 4 key points, which is communication, collaboration, data structure, algorithms, problem solving, analytical skills, code understanding, and quality. And again, or not again, but it's the first time to say it, but it's very important. You won't see any brain teasers, puzzles, trick questions. Feel safe at the interview. We don't want to trick you. We are here to help, to see all your skills, to see you shine. So don't feel panic, or don't panic at all. Don't stress out. We are here to see you shining. Moving forward with the steps to success during the technical interview. So here's a suggestion to how to tackle and ace your technical interview. A suggestion which is divided into 5 parts. The first one is clarifying the question, design a solution, write your question, test your code, and time management. And of course, time management is during the whole interview and not just at the end. It's during your interview, you have to do a time management. So let's jump into each point individually and talk about it more. So what is clarifying or clarify the question? You have to clarify to make sure that the question is clarified for you, that you understood the question really well. So how do you do that? So first of all, try to read it out loud to make sure that you don't miss anything, and make sure and the interviewer could maybe see that you understood the question. And after reading the question, make sure to check the inputs, the outputs. If there is a test case provided for you by the interviewer, then make sure that you understood how does it work. If they didn't provide you a test case, which could happen, so make sure to provide by yourself a test case, an input, and expect what is the output, and make sure that it works as you expect. Like the input is, for example, 1, 2, 3, and the output is 4, 5, 6. So make sure that it matches what you understand, and you match it with the interviewer. Like make sure discuss it with the interviewer and make sure that you understand the question well, and then check for the maybe some cases for the input, like for example, if the input, like for example, is numbers, so make sure that you understand the number. What is a number in this case? Like, is it positive only, negative only, positive and negative, zeros is accepted or not? Is it integer or decimal or both? So make sure that you gather all the information and not just take a broad vision about it. And then try to tackle the edge cases. Think about edge cases, discuss it with the interviewer, and again, discuss it out loud. Your communications is really, really important during the interview. And again, try to engage the interviewer with you, like ask them questions if you don't understand. If there's something you are not sure about, ask them, make sure of it, so that you don't misunderstand anything. Moving forward for the second point, which is design a solution. Do not start coding immediately. Do not rush for the coding. Take your time. Take your time to design a solution. So once you settled everything with the question, understood everything, your edge cases there, input, outputs, then start to think about the solution. No need to rush for an optimal solution. it's not like that. Just think about the solution first. So think about solution, think out loud with the interviewer, show your skills by speaking and how you think and what you are thinking about. Then start to think about the performance of this code or of this solution. What is the performance? What is the annotation? How long it's gonna take? Make sure that your solution is gonna handle all the edge cases that you discussed. And again, the communication is really important because this is the way where we see how you think and we see your skills. So once you maybe have a solid solution and you are kind of ready to implement, we go for the third point, which is writing your code. So try to, once you have the solution, try to start writing the code, make it simple. Do not complicate it at all. Make it simple. And again, explain it while you are coding if you can. If you can, explain like I'm doing this function to do 1, 2, 3, and then I'm doing this for loop for X, Y, and Z. And explain as much as possible, but do not waste your time on explaining and focus on coding in this part. So, yeah, and while coding, make sure that, of course, you are writing a code like that will work and that will run, no syntax errors, but make sure that that the code won't be run at the end. Like you will not see a button that you are gonna click to run your code or test your code, and you will see like green passes and red failures. This won't happen. So make sure to write your code clean, readable, reusable, even if we know that maybe it's not gonna be used, but make sure that it's very clean, it's very readable, and you write the solution that you discussed. So moving forward, once you have your code, everything is done. As we mentioned, no button that you will click to test and see greens and red passes and failures. So you have to debug and test your code manually. So you have to do that by checking by debugging the test cases that you provided at the beginning. If the interviewer gave it to you, or you do it by yourself, make sure to go on these test cases, test it deeply, check line by line how it's gonna work, what is gonna happen, make sure that it's working. And this is how you are actually testing your code and seeing it functional or not. And in this specific part, if you found a bug while you are debugging, do not panic. This is a very good situation to find the bug and solve it, because no one writes a free bug code. Everyone do errors, everyone make mistakes, and it's very good to catch it. That's the important part, is catching the errors and understanding the code that you write and debugging the code. So at the end, once you tested the code and everything looks great, think about optimization. Here's the part where you're gonna check the next level of your code. If there is an option to optimize, if there is an option to get a better solution, then try for it, discuss it first before coding again, discuss it with the interviewer, agree with them, take their opinion, make them engaged with you in the interview, throughout the interview, not just in this part. And then if you have enough time to implement the optimized solution, implement it. If not, it's okay. Then the last point, which, as we mentioned, it's covered throughout the whole interview, not just at the end.
Let's give it a second. I think
which is
we
why-
might have lost.
Yeah, I got lost.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Are you back? Are you back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm not sure where I left, so I will start again. So yeah, we are gonna tackle the time management and stress. So to tackle the stress, make sure that you practice a lot before the interview, and to practice not only on problem solving. Yeah, problem solving is very important. We mentioned earlier all the topics that we have to prepare, but then we have to again practice on mock interviews itself. So for the full-time jobs, we have an option to do a mock interview, but only for one time before your interviews. And later, and then after that, maybe you can use any online platforms. There is a lot. You can use unlimited tries of mock interviews. And in this case, make use of, like, there's a very good tip from yes.
Yahya, I believe we're losing you. Are you back? Let's quickly finish this slide.
Yes. I'm
Yes,
sorry
you're
for the
back.
connection. Yeah. I hope it won't do it again. So yeah. So yeah, you have the online platforms. Try to use it, unlimited tries, and use the feedback from your from the matches. And again, try to give them feedback and try to see if they do any mistakes or they miss any points that we mentioned, and try to see the difference between not doing one of these points that we mentioned and doing it. You will see a big difference and a very positive impact. Then regarding time management, this is an example that we suggest. Maybe you can do something else, but this is just an example, is giving 2 to 3 minutes about input cases, reading the question, clarifying the question, and then 2 to 3 minutes about edge cases, then 5 to 7 minutes to discuss the solution with the interviewer, then 15 to 20 minutes to write down the code, and of course, explain it while you are coding, and finally 2 to 3 minutes for debugging, and if you have time left, you can give an extra example to debug it, and then optimize the code. Yeah, and kind of last thing is the common mistakes that you have to avoid. Try to avoid, which is jumping in the code, as we mentioned, not talking about examples and not thinking about testing, and just try to solve the problem without deeply understanding what is happening about the problem, and then not writing a real code, or like writing a code that is not runnable or has syntax errors, anything like that. It should run at the end, the code, even if you won't run it in the interview, but it should run if we run it on any compiler. And finally is not understanding the question, or try to optimize earlier before having a stable solution. Of course, it's very good to have an optimized solution from the beginning, but do not limit yourself for that. Sometimes the optimized solution doesn't come to your mind from the beginning, so try to at least get a solution, and then we will optimize later. Moving forward. Yeah, here we come to the practice part, which Zain will lead it, and I hope you enjoyed my part, and let's enjoy a practice session with Zain.
Thank you, Yahya, for all the great insights on how to prepare. Now's the time to put all the things that Yahya has shared with us, or some of them at least, to the test. So I want you to roll up your sleeves, because I want you to engage with us in the comments section. We will go through a simple exercise that we just want to make sure that we use some of the things that Yahya mentioned, and we want to also for you to engage with us and show us that we can use these things that Yahya mentioned. So yeah, we will use a sample interview question that's targeted for STEP interns, but the process is similar for the other cases. So let's go. I want you to locate the comment section and be ready to start writing your thoughts there, because we will go through this question now. So imagine you started an interview now, and you got introduced into the interviewer, and the interviewer shared with you this question here, and they told you that you need to write a function to detect if a string containing parentheses is balanced. So I want you to share in the comments, what do you think, like after you've read this question, what do you think the first thing that you need to do? Please share in the comments. What do you think the first thing that you need to do after you read this question? And I'll try to read the comments. Please remember the framework that Yahya shared with you. And let's see. What do you think you need to do after you read this question? I'll give this 30 seconds, maybe, or a minute. Okay, explain your understanding to the interviewer. Ask about inputs. Ask about input outputs. Ask clarifying questions. Yeah, what are the clarifying questions? Okay, these are very good thoughts from you folks about what to do as a first step of this interview. Yeah, Said Salim says that we need to see what's the meaning of balanced parentheses. Yeah, clarify the balanced meaning. Stack, yeah, that's might be a stack. What is the output? Is true or false? Okay, can we ask? Yeah, you might want to. Okay, so I'll go back to the question now. Thank you all for your thoughts. So, okay, so remembering the framework that Yahya shared with us earlier, you need to make sure that you actually understand the question before you start thinking about how to solve it. Because if you get the question wrong, you might waste time, and you want to optimize for time because you have a limited time here. So what you want to ask is what some of you mentioned is like, what does balanced means? So you want to make sure that you and the interviewer are on the same page. They're expecting something from you, and you want to make sure that you understand it so that you give them what they want in this case. So what does balanced mean? So sometimes the interviewer will actually give you some examples. It's not necessarily always the case, but sometimes they will give you examples. For example, you can see on this slide, they tell you, oh, here are two cases of balanced strings, and here are two cases for unbalanced strings. And then you can take it from there. Yeah, but you don't need to assume that, for example, these are comprehensive examples. These are all the cases, because as Yahya mentioned, you need to think of your own examples. So for example, you might look at this interview and see that, okay, balanced means that we have equal number of open parentheses and closed parentheses. I also want you to share with us in the comments, again, like, what do you think is wrong with this approach? If I say, okay, I tell the interviewer, I think balanced is, I need to count the number of open parentheses, number of closed parentheses, and just make sure that they are equal based on the question, based on the examples that they have given me. I'll give this also 30 seconds, and I'll try to read the comments that you will be sharing. Okay, so Said Salim again saying the order of these opens, open and closed. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, for questions, there will be a Q&A session at the end, but yeah, we can tackle questions. Okay, some people are also sharing their thoughts on the solution, which is great. Okay. So we'll move forward here and see that you need to think about examples beyond what's given to you. You need to think about unusual examples. Like sometimes the examples that are given to you are kind of like happy path or like some like very basic examples, and you need to start thinking about like what are the different cases that you might encounter here. You might also want to ask your interviewer about, like, as some of you mentioned, about like the weird cases. Do I need to care about if the string is empty? Do I need to care about like different characters that might encounter? Is it possible that I see something that's not a parentheses at all, for example? What does it mean if the string is empty? Should I return it's balanced or not balanced? You might also ask about, if you reach like an optimization stage, you might ask like, is there a limit on the number of characters, or do I need to like worry about like super large inputs? When you do this, you're kind of framing the problem so that you know what you need to worry about and what you need not worry about. And this is like your best framework to use in order to manage also time and stress, because when you start discarding stuff that you don't care about, like you don't need to worry about, then it's better because there are less stuff to worry about in this limited time that you have. So as you can see here, there's a case actually where you just counting the open and close parentheses actually does not work, because you might start with a close parentheses and then have an open parentheses. Just counting the numbers does not work, but actually you need to do something else. Okay, so I'll show you here what like one solution that people might do, which I actually like highlights a very important point, is that here you can use a stack and start putting elements in the stack. And once you encounter like a close parentheses, you just pop elements from the stack. I wanted to show this slide because it's super important to highlight one point, which is if the solution can be simpler, you don't need to complicate it. For example, like you learned about stacks and these like fascinating data structures in university, and you really want to use them. Use them whenever they are necessary. If you use a data structure, make sure that it fits the case, it's really necessary, and you cannot implement the solution in a simpler way. For example, if you look here, this is using a stack, but if we look at the next slide, you can see that you can just keep a counter, and just by counting parentheses, you can actually solve this without using a stack. So make sure that it's part of the assessment that Yahya mentioned earlier about data structures and algorithms is, do you know when to use which data structure, and does it actually fit the solution? Are you using it just because you want to use it, or does it actually fit the case that you want? Yep, so this was a quick exercise that we want to just make sure that we do this first part, which is clarifying the problem. And if you want to practice more, you can take a screenshot of these resources that we have here for you on the screen, which will give you a chance to actually do more practice and to be prepared for the interview. So please take a screenshot of these and check them offline. And this was our very simple exercise just to show parts of this framework that Yahya shared. And now what happens next? After you get an offer, I will pass to Omran, who will talk to you about our offices, culture, teams. So it's all yours, Omran.
Thank you so much, Zain, for this great practicing example. So yeah, after preparing for the interviews and the stressful part and discussing the time complexity and all of these kind of things, you will get an offer. And if you will be joining Google Poland, then what to expect in Google Poland. Actually, in Poland, Google has 3 offices in Warsaw, Krakow, and Wrocław. Warsaw office is the biggest, it's the main hub. And the flagship team that we have in Google Warsaw is Google Cloud. So we will talk briefly about the teams that you might find in Warsaw or in Google Poland in general. And the second office is Krakow. And in Krakow office, actually, the location of this office is so nice. It is actually in the old town of Krakow city. So if you will be joining this office, you will be so lucky to have such a nice location. And last office, which is the smallest among the 3, is Wrocław. Next slide. And yeah, if you will be joining Google Poland, you will be able to meet Google Cloud teams. For example, Compute Engine, Kubernetes Engine, BigQuery, Composer, and a lot of more from Google Cloud teams. Let's give you a quick brief about a couple of teams from these Google Cloud teams. If you're interested to know more about it, you can always search, go to the official websites to know more about these teams. First one is Google Compute Engine. And actually, GCE team or Google Compute Engine team has a really mission critical job to assure the availability and reliability and the performance of their product, because GCE is considered the fundamental building block for Google Cloud, because multiple other services are built on top of GCE. One of them is the next slide, Google Kubernetes Engine. Me and Yahya actually are working for Google Kubernetes Engine. And if you will be joining us, if we will be working together, we will have the chance together to work on GKE, which is the internal Google Kubernetes Engine. And also you will have the chance to develop in the open source Kubernetes repo on GitHub. So you will have your GitHub account with this little small Google logo beside it, which I got so excited when I first got this one. But also, if you're interested in AI, I will leave you with Zain to introduce you to Gemini Code Assist team that he's working for. Zain?
Thank you, Omran. Yeah, this will be a short one from me. So my team is Gemini Code Assist. It's based here mainly in Warsaw. And if you're excited about AI and excited about building AI products, this is one of the big teams here in Warsaw. It's building Gemini Code Assist, which is a platform that gives developers the product to make them more efficient and give them AI-powered code generations, and also chat-based generations and agent-based generations for unit tests and for writing code and for understanding code. we develop plugins for IDEs like Visual Studio and IntelliJ and Android Studio and others. And this is one of the most exciting teams now, given like the trend that's going and the products that are being built using AI, and it's here in Warsaw. So this is a very exciting team. If you join Google Warsaw, you might land in this team, which is super exciting. So with that, I will pass also to Reem, who will talk to us a bit about business roles.
Yes, so if you might have noticed from my introduction, it's not only about engineers. So I'm not from the engineering side. I'm from the business side, business roles, and it's only for full-time and graduates. So if we move next. So I'm very, very proud to be part of this team, which is Google Customer Solutions, GCS. And you can call it, or we are the client-focused members, and you can call us the human face of Google. We have multiple teams, which is sales and marketing, and it's more about Google Ads. If you know or you heard about it, it's the most famous one for advertising. We have teams covering multiple languages, more than 10 languages across the world. We have English, German, and absolutely Arabic, French, and we're based in the 3 offices in Warsaw, Wrocław, and Krakow. So after all of those amazing informations that Omran, Yahya, and Zain shared with us, and the brilliant engagement that I see on the comment section, thank you so much for this level of engagement. Okay, what do we do now? What's next? What can we do? So first of all, this is the second time we are seeing this slide after Omran explained it at the beginning. Please make sure that you visit Google Careers. You can create alerts for the roles that you are interested in. You can search by the location that you prefer to work at. You can even filter by the skills that you are most interested in. And third, I have seen one of the comments speaking about the languages. You can even filter by the language that you want the job to be from. So go and head to Google Careers and choose or create alerts for the rules. But you can scan this QR code still to make sure that you're not missing any opportunities that's coming from the recruiting team for Google Poland. One other thing, once you go to Google Careers, please create a profile, and this profile will help you apply more quickly for jobs. That's one. Second, you will get more personalized recommendations based on your preferences and interests. And the third one would be provide you with some tips and information to help you in your research and what kind of roles you're interested at. And I will leave it here. I saw one comment about screenshotting. We thought that screenshotting will be easier for everyone unless you want to write, so it's totally up to you. But we will pause here for a second. Those are all the amazing resources that can help you in developing your skills, knowing more about the open opportunities in Google and internships and the timelines of all of this. So we will just pause for a second before we go to the Q&A section, and I believe we will have plenty of them until you have a screenshot for all the resources. And just to let you know, this session is recorded, so you can always come back to it and get whatever you have missed. One, two, three. We go next. So it's the Q&A time, and I believe reading all of your comments, you have plenty of them. Please, Heba, we can move on to the questions part now, so we can answer all of your questions, dears.
Okay, we can begin.
Okay, I think this is about the example, so I can take that. Yeah, I'm not sure if this was like on the clarifying, like this was on the engagement part, or this is a question, but I think, yeah, for the question balanced meant that you, based on the example, whenever you see an open parenthesis, there's a close parenthesis on the other end, And yeah, the examples of input-output, I think we should see them on the next slides when we were showing them. So yeah, I think this was part of the engagement. Yeah, we can move to the next one. I think also this one was part of the engagement. So yeah, this was also part of the engagement. This was part of the engagement part. I think we can go to the next one.
The answer for Zain practice, so we can, I think we can skip it by Zain. How can we for the next?
Yeah, Heba will take care of this. Please, Heba, if you can go to the next question.
Zilal, I wish all the questions are like this. So thank you. Zilal, thank you, dear. Let's move to the question.
Yes. Hiba, can we? Yeah. Right. Reem, how can we move forward with the car? It's
Yahya, I think there is something wrong with your internet. Okay, Yahya, I think we have a problem with your mic. Sorry for this, but let's take the questions. Zain, Omran, and Rania, if you can help with the questions. Especially the technical ones, sorry.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm not sure if about the pages and if they have like French pages for these. I think if there are pages that don't have, usually there are, like usually if you log in like from a country, you get a personalized page based on the language. I believe there are pages for French speakers and with the French language, but yeah, you might need to change your settings to be able to reach them. Okay, how many minutes do you need to understand the problem if it was difficult, and what are the best techniques? I think you need to make sure that you understand the question, and you can reiterate that to your interviewer, and like you can ask them like, oh, do I understand correctly that X? Like, do I understand correctly that I need to return this, that the scenario is this, and so on. How many minutes? I think you need to take a couple of minutes, like you need to take as much time as you want until you understand the question, because if you don't understand the question, you cannot move forward. It's good if you can just understand the question really fast by just iterating it, and then from there moving on to like diving into it and like to how to find the solution. So I think just understanding the question is a simple, like as you iterate over the question, say it again to your interviewer and they will say, yes, that's correct, that's the understanding. And then you start diving into like examples and trying to figure out how, and you ask clarifying questions and like frame the problem in terms of input output and like what you need to assume and your assumptions and so on.
Also, if I may add something to Zain, if Lobna is talking about setting some, for example, like timeline or some, for example, some amount of time to just understand the problem, it depends on your how quick you will be able to implement the solution and how quick you will be able to continue the other parts of the interview. Because I know some friends that are really, really fast when it comes to implementations, and they are So they have more time to understand the problem and just clarify more. So try to understand also your strength point and weakness points so you can manipulate the time and time management.
I think this was related to the exercise, so we can take the next one. This also. So next one, please. Same.
We're just seeing the amazing answers by everyone here.
Yeah. Thank you all for this great engagement. That was really good.
Heba, let's skip, please.
Yep, this one also. Mm-hmm. Yep, okay.
I can take that. So there's many platforms you can find it. Especially for me, I was using a platform for doing mock interview. It have more, you are doing bare mock interview, you are doing bare interview for someone, and other one doing interview for you. You can write any mock interview. You will find many platforms doing that for free. So we can't recommend any specific one, but you can find multiple free online mock interview platform. Next one, please. This one also from the example. Next one.
It just shows the level of engagement.
Yeah. Next, please. Skip this too. Skip. May I take this too? So the interviewer, all Google interview will be in English. That's why we did this in session to be in English, to let you to try this experience for doing your interview in English. So, but during the interview, you can ask your interviewer, for example, provide some explanation what you are doing, ask them for provide test case to be understanding. And if you, okay, so at this point, I understand some idea about this problem, I will repeat what I understand during this problem to the interviewer to make sure we are in the same page. You can ask them for clarify and always do mock interview. All of us here, English is not our first language, but we get a lot of practice doing mock interview. So that will help for you, for being able to solve the problem fast.
Yeah, and also you can feel free to just ask the interviewer to rephrase the statement, maybe use other words if this will help you and feel comfortable asking the interviewer for this things.
Okay, I can take this one. Do they expect us to know design patterns or coding patterns for the interviews? Mainly the topics that are involved here are the ones that Yahya shared before. So mainly coding, data structures and algorithms. If you're designing an API, you might need to be to know how to design an API. That's for full-time, more like for interns. I personally, in my experience, I didn't get to use these design patterns if you're talking about these design patterns like the bridge and singleton and so on. It's good to be familiar with them in case you get a problem that's involved. Interviews are not heavy on these in my experience, but I think it's always good to be prepared for anything that might come up. So it's good to know them.
Yeah, for more senior level, we have system design interview. This is starting from L5 position. So you can find system design interview, but this is another topic.
I think I can take this one. For marketing and sales related roles, you have the full interview process that Zain mentioned before. However, you will not have the technical interviews. You will have 4 interviews, actually 45 minutes each, and each one of them will assess leadership. It will be more behavioral questions, and the second most important one is the role related knowledge. How experienced you are once you join the team. Have you met such behavior or situations the same before? How would you handle any type of scenarios that you might see in the team? So it's 4 interviews. Each one of them is 45 minutes. It's more about leadership and role questions. I hope that answers the question, dear. Thank you, Safia. Heba, can we go to the next question?
Oh, I think Heba is not in the call right now.
Okay.
Maybe we can just pick comments like from the recent comments
Yeah.
ourselves. Okay, so one comment is saying, after passing the interview and given an offer, are the jobs roles on site in Poland or remote? I believe that all of the current available jobs or roles in Poland are on site, but also you can search for any remote positions or roles from careers.google.com, and it will be filtering all of the jobs that are remote, and it will be visible to you. So I know some people like working remotely, but I'm not sure if there is available remote open roles right now or not. So this was a question from Don.
Okay, I will take the next one. Does the repealer work in Google? And what about multiply rejection? Would that have negative impact on application? No, everyone have a story, like for 20 time rejection or 30 time. We have like the score of how many times we get rejected. So the refillers work. And actually what is the most important than refiller, like this QR code, if you scan it and write this form, this data will go direct to the recruiter. And we have like people starting the process, get the offer, they applied with us in the CV workshop. So I highly recommend it for you to go through that if you wanna your resume go through to the recruiter. But here for rejection, I will ask you about, you should know why you are get rejected. If you have the problem in the rejected from the beginning, you have a problem with your resume. So please watch the CV workshop to be able to apply that. One common problem, especially I was having, I'm not get engaged with the interview. I solving the problem, but I'm not speaking with the interviewer. This is many people get this problem. So make sure you get engaged with the interviewer. Try to make sure why you are get rejected to be able to solve this next time. And we are waiting for you to join Google soon.
I can take a quick one from the recent comments, not the one visible right now. Ahmed Abad is asking, if I'm a junior developer, is the interview included system design? If you're junior, no, your interview will not be including system design. This is for more senior levels. So yes, I hope this answers your question.
Just to make sure that we did not skip anything, there was a question about books and recommendations. I think if you're talking about like preparing for the interviews, also the recruiter will share with you resources on like that also include some books on how to prepare and so on. There are books on how to approach the coding interview. There are books also on how to approach the system design interview if you're going for more senior jobs. If you're talking about like books in general that are related to like software, also depends on your level. You might be interested in just diving into like one particular language, or you may be interested in more senior stuff like software design. There's a book like a philosophy on software design that was interesting. There was also pragmatic programmer that was interesting also for me. If you're more interested into also kind of DevOps stuff, and there's a very nice book called Release It, Design and Deploy, which is also a very interesting book. That's from my side. I will not list many more. That's just the quick ones. We can go to the next question, Hiba.
Very good question. We will share one more time with you the QR code for our first CV workshop. Please have a look and watch it. I believe we covered what kind of CVs you would prepare for multiple levels, not only especially for SWE, but for in general for every single role that you might face as a junior level or a senior level as well.
And we can ask Heba, please, can you repost that session again on your LinkedIn page because to let everyone to see this session again.
Yeah, so please follow Heba on GDG Sudan and you will find the session there too. Thank you, Heba. Let's move to the next question, please.
I think I can take this one. I think there were 2 slides before about these things. If you didn't get a chance to screenshot them, I think you can watch the recording again and see what are the expectations for the STEP interns. I think it's a subset of the expectations for like the full-time SWEs. So it's something based on what we expect that you will know at that time, like something less of the complicated topics and more of like basic data structures and coding skills. So please refer back to the slide that lists all these topics that Yahya talked about, and you can find a comprehensive list there.
So can we address the last question from Haymanot? Oh, perfect. Yes, that's a perfect question. Please fill it now, I believe, because after this event, the QR code will not be accepting any more registrations. Correct, Rania?
Yes, we will send a follow-up email, and after that, this sign-up form will be closed. So please register that as soon as possible.
We have a big audience of engineers here.
Okay, I can try to take this one. I'm not an ML engineer, but I don't think there are special types of interviews for ML engineers. If somebody knows of them in the group, please chime in. Yeah, I think they are interviews, just tech interviews like the rest, but yeah, not super sure. Okay, this is directed to me, so so I think I'll take it. Yeah, so I work in I work in backend systems for Gemini Code Assist. So it depends on like you want to work on like infrastructure part for AI or you want to work on ML stuff. I'm not an ML engineer, so I think for that you need some other requirements if you want to work like directly on the models. I think if you want to work just on the using the models and like just leveraging the models, then you just need to be good at like software engineering and backend systems in general, and like showcase your general technical skills. And with that, you can join like backend systems and like build services as usual. I think it's good, like in general, it's good to keep improving, like improve and iterate and like refine your CV, improve while you get the opportunity to apply and get into Google.
If I also may add to Zain, you can always also go to careers.google.com and filter with these keywords like machine learning, AI, and go to the exact role that you like. And you can see the description, what is expected from you, and you can strengthen your knowledge about like for these specific things to increase your chances to get accepted.
I think we answered this one or something that's super similar.
Sophia, thank you so much for being interested. That would be a long story to share now. We have just a couple of minutes more.
I can take this. You can apply for any positions that you can pass their interviews. So you can, if you are junior, you can apply for senior position as long as you can pass the interview. But we are recommended for you like to take your first steps at Google. So it always be better to work in your level to be able to pass the interview and learn from the talented people work with you.
Shall we go for 2 more last questions?
Okay, I can take this one. So, okay, as I think I mentioned part of it, but it's good to also expand on this, is that there are questions that we give to interns. We give them also the same question to like full-time engineers, but the expectation is different. So that's a very good question, because you might get a question, you and like someone who's applying full-time, it's the same question, but how you approach the problem, how much help would you need, how much time does it take you, how optimize the solution that you provide are different. So we do the assessment based on either the level you're applying to if you're full-time, or your current status if you're like in university, or which year you are. So everything is tailored toward like what do we expect from you at the level where you are. So if you're still in university, we don't expect you to know stuff that like an experienced person knows. So the requirements are scaled down. So you can think of like we kind of tolerate more of like you doing some mistakes that because you don't have experience and you're just doing projects in university and so on. So yeah, everything is scaled to the case that you are and which level you are in your experience and education.
I can take that. If you are applying for software engineer, the only interview you will be facing the problem solving that Yahya explained, and also the behavior interview. So no need for knowing AI topics or LM topics.
And okay. I think we have finished our allowance for the questions. Now it's been 22 minutes of Q&As. Thank you so much. Khaldun, the last one, or like a master's thesis position are such positions. Okay, it's gone. Okay.
I can take this. There is internship for master degree and bachelor degree. So you can apply for that, and you can apply also as a full-time while you have your master degree. So it's up to you. So we are welcome for any levels.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rania, and thanks everyone for joining us today. If we can go to the next one. First of all, I would love to thank every single person of you for the level of engagement that we have today. I think that will be a unique session for us as well. So please fill in this form. This is the post-event survey. Make sure you write your honest, constructive feedback to us. If you want to see some other content in the future, what do you want to see more? How do you want these sessions to be delivered to you as well? Please write all of your feedback there. Heba, there are actually two questions, a couple of questions that were mentioned about writing a proper CV. Heba, can you let us know where can you share the CV workshop session one more time, so everyone can follow your page and see the CV workshop session?
Okay, they can find it in our YouTube channel, and I will share the link right now.
Perfect. So Heba can share it on the comment section at the moment, so you can just click on that link and you will find it there. But please, please, please write your post-event survey. We will be really happy to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.